Hey there, if you are currently staring at a literal mountain of a syllabus while somehow also watching this explainer, you know what? You are exactly in the right place. Today we're constructing the ultimate academic comeback. Seriously, if you've been struggling to focus, feeling totally overwhelmed, or just wasting time when you know you should be working, consider this your step-by-step masterclass. We're going to completely transform your academic reality by bringing together some incredibly powerful insights on study motivation, cognitive neuroscience, and extreme focus strategies. So here's our exact roadmap for today. First, we'll look at the truth about motivation. Second, the 30-minute concentration test. Third, rewiring your brain. Fourth, the WWH strategy. And finally, the ultimate challenge, the 90-day Van Voss. All right, let's jump straight into section 1, the truth about motivation. Looking at internal drive versus external pressure. Okay, before we can even begin to fix your study habits, we actually have to figure out what drives you to sit down and do the hard work in the first place, right? Educational research points to a really clear divide here. On one side, you've got intrinsic motivation. That's studying out of genuine curiosity, self-improvement, or just a pure love of learning. On the other side is extrinsic motivation. So studying just to get the good grades, avoid getting grounded, or just surviving parental pressure. Now, while that external pressure might give you the kick you need to start, relying on it entirely, that is a super fast track to burnout. The ultimate goal here is to shift your mindset toward that intrinsic internal drive, because that's what actually makes you a resilient, independent learner. But hey, let's get completely real for a second. Why can't you study? When you sit down at your desk, what is actually stopping you? Educator Prashant Kirad poses this brilliant reality check to just pierce right through all of our usual excuses. And spoiler alert, it's almost never just a simple lack of motivation. Yeah, your supposed lack of motivation is most likely just a mask for one of these three things. First up, fear. You're terrified you just aren't smart enough, so, well, you don't even try. Second, regret. You spent the last 6 months messing around and the guilt is literally paralyzing you today. Or third, addiction. Let's be honest, your brain is totally hijacked by digital dopamine and gaming. You have to actively name these blockers if you ever want to defeat them. Which brings us to section 2. The 30-minute concentration test, proving your capability. It is time to completely neutralize that fear of failure we just talked about, and we're going to do it with immediate, undeniable proof of your own capability. 30. That is the magic number. If you're sitting there thinking your syllabus is totally impossible or that you're just way too far behind, Prashant Kirad has a challenge for you. Do just 30 minutes of pure, unbroken concentration today. No phone, zero open tabs, literally just you and the material. When you actually see how much you can conquer in just half an hour of deep focus, your brain goes, wait a second, I can actually do this. It instantly shatters all that self-doubt.
All right, section 3, rewiring your brain, the neuroscience of resilience.
So now that we've tackled those emotional blockers, we're shifting gears from emotional motivation into hard neuroscience, using some amazing insights from Dr. Sweta Adatya to physically upgrade your brain's hardware. But first, we really need to debunk a massive Hollywood myth. Yeah, looking right at you, movies like Lucy. You do not just use 10% of your brain. Your entire brain is actually engaged all the time. The real secret to academic optimization isn't about unlocking hidden gray matter. It's about specifically strengthening your frontal cortex. That's your brain's command center for logic, focus, and emotional control.
Now, to strengthen that command center, Dr. Adatya introduces something called neurobics. Think of these as multi-sensory challenges, specifically designed to break you out of your daily autopilot, because doing the exact same routine day in and day out actually dulls your cognitive sharpness. So by introducing small, kind of weird challenges like, I don't know, brushing your teeth with your non-dominant hand, or taking a totally different route to school, you literally force your brain to wake up and build brand new, highly resilient pathways. And this brings us right to the famous Hebbian formula: neurons that fire together, wire together. Basically, wherever you place your focused attention, you are physically building lasting neural circuits. If you mindlessly scroll social media for hours, you're wiring your brain for distraction. But if you focus on complex problem solving, you wire your brain for academic excellence. Ultimately, you are the architect of your own brain. So let's turn this into some daily actionable protocols. First, sit in pure, absolute silence for 10 to 30 minutes a day just to regulate your nervous system. Second, start throwing in those neurobiotic sensory mismatches we just talked about. And third, you need to shift your focus from time management to energy management. A tired brain simply cannot learn, period, no matter how beautifully color-coded your calendar is. These non-negotiable daily protocols are what create an unbreakable, highly resilient mindset.
Moving into section 4, the WH strategy, eliminating study friction. Okay, we've got the mindset down and the neuroscience locked in. Now we desperately need some daily tactical execution. Before you even think about sitting down at your desk, Prashant Karad says you absolutely must answer 3 questions. What exactly are you studying? When are you studying, and how? As in, which specific textbook or lecture video are you going to use? If you don't map out the what, when, and how in advance, you'll easily blow 45 minutes just trying to decide what to do. The WWH strategy completely eliminates that decision fatigue.
Because listen, when the clock is ticking before a major exam, you can't just try to limit your bad habits. Think about it like a water tank with a hole in it. You don't try to make the hole a little bit smaller, you patch the entire thing. You absolutely must permanently lock away your distractions. No half measures, no compromises.
And that brings us to our final section. Section 5, the 90-day Van Voss, Isolation for Mastery.
This is the ultimate crescendo of this whole explainer. Van Voss essentially translates to a period of exile. Corporate trainer Sonar Sharma frames this as the absolute ultimate challenge for success. It completely defies all that modern advice telling you to constantly network and be visible all the time. Just look at titans like Thomas Edison or Henry Ford. I mean, if Edison had listened to the constant noise of society, he probably would have quit well before his 10,000th attempt. True success requires extreme privacy and deep focus, totally cut off from the noise of the outside world.
Now, if you are actually going to commit to this 90-day isolation, you need to know exactly what's coming. Here is your psychological timeline. Days 1 to 30, it's going to be a massive struggle. Your brain is going to scream and beg for its old distractions. But you have to push through it, because by days 31 to 60, the habit starts taking root, and that intense mental resistance finally drops. And then, by days 61 to 90, you hit a flow state. Deep, unbroken focus literally just becomes your second nature.
To actually survive this, you're going to need some uncompromising rules. First, delete the social media. Just get rid of it. It's a massive illusion that is entirely designed to steal your time. Second, cut off negative people and useless gossip to aggressively protect your mental energy. Third, you must dedicate 4 to 6 hours daily strictly to your specialized knowledge. Being a generalist just won't cut it here. And finally, take a page right out of Andrew Carnegie's playbook. Spend 1 full hour every single night in complete silence, just thinking deeply about your goals and your progress.
Look, that motivation we talked about, it will eventually fade somewhere during those 90 days. It always does. And when it does fade, absolute discipline has to take the wheel. One incredibly practical way to build that discipline is to literally write down your 3 most important tasks every single night before you go to sleep. And I don't mean urgent tasks. I mean the important ones that actually move you closer to your goal. The next day, you do not stop working until those 3 specific tasks are done.
To endure the full 90-day stretch, you've got to program your subconscious mind. First, set a hyper-clear, massive goal. Second, read it out loud and visualize it vividly 3 times a day, morning, noon, and night. And crucially, don't wait the full 90 days to finally feel good about yourself. You need to celebrate the micro milestones at 7, 15, and 30 days. Reward yourself with a great meal or a quick, refreshing break just to keep that psychological momentum burning alive.
Okay, so we've covered the brain science, the daily study tactics, and the ultimate blueprint for extreme focus. You have the tools now. Your 90 days of intense, focused isolation start right now. So the only real question left to answer is, when you finally emerge from this Van Voss, who are you going to be? Make it happen.